Alright, so the title is not informative at all, so I'll clue you in as to what this video is about. The idea is basically a devlog. The idea is for me to make a game, although I have zero experience and know absolutely nothing about what I'm doing. And the game is going to be about the gym and exercise combined with Schedule 1, which means that you are going to be able to sell steroids along with other things such as creatine to possible buyers. But as I said, I've got no idea about anything of that sort, so yeah, this is just a devlog. I should also say that everything is pre-recorded, as whenever I record and do something I don't talk at all, so this is going to be interesting. The first thing that I started doing is to make the character model, and for that I followed the tutorial that I'll that I'll link in the description. It was it was a very good tutorial, although the thing is that the person doing the tutorial made the model in like 5 minutes, and I spent like 30 minutes trying to imitate him. So that didn't help me at all. That ruined my self-confidence for a bit. But I was pretty happy with how the model came out in the end. All things considered, I thought it looked pretty typical. If anything, it reminded me a bit of Schedule 1, so I thought that I was on the right track. But yeah, all I've got to say is that it was a good start. All things considered, it was a start. Okay, so I lied about it being a good start. I know, wow, who would have guessed? Because for the next 2 hours and 20 minutes I failed adding bones to the character model. And bones are very important because they are what makes the model actually move. So if you don't have any bones, it's just a model T-posing, moving around, and I doubt that anybody wants to play as that. So yeah. Also, you will see some reference images. You have no idea the type of things I had to search in order to get the image on the right, and I'm pretty confident that my internet provider has shoved me into some sort of watch list because of that. The only saving grace is that I was searching for males and not females. I've got no idea what would have happened then, but yeah. I should say that I've got no idea how bones worked, I still got no clue. I didn't even follow a tutorial, I just figured that it would be pretty simple to do it by itself. It's just bones. What could go wrong? Yeah, apparently everything, since I spent 2 hours and 20 minutes on this. There isn't anything else I can comment on it, it's just me suffering for like 2 hours. Until I finally found the tutorial, and even then, I failed even while following the tutorial. How is it that I can do everything that the tutorial shows me and still fail at it? Right hand on the Bible or whatever, I did everything that the tutorials would show, and it didn't work. Or maybe I just failed, or I don't know. But yeah, after some time I just gave up altogether, called it a day, and then started again the next day. But I didn't even record that. I just started some pre-made ornament, if I remember correctly, and that did the trick. So yeah, I despise this. I despise bones with a burning passion. And for some reason, at some point, the bones weren't even inside of the model. They were outside of it, and I couldn't get them to be inside of the model. And that just confused me, because for what reason would you need bones to be outside of your fucking model? And that came, yeah. Why? There's absolutely no, I can't picture any situation for where you'd want the bones to be outside of your model. So why is that option even offered to you? I don't even know what I clicked for that to happen. But hey, 2 hours and 20 minutes gone to waste. Well, not to waste. I just learned that maybe I should just use things that others have already created. That was past me talking, by the way. And if you were to listen very closely, you could actually feel the joy in his voice. You wouldn't hear it, you could feel it. But yeah, this is actually the part that I had been the most excited about, actually making the game and coding it. And it started off well, I'm not going to lie. I followed the tutorial, again I'll link it in the description. And they provided all of the necessary code for the basic movements such as WASD, running, jumping, as well as crouching. Granted, I made a bit of mistakes here and there. I doubt that you would be able to catch them, because for some reason OBS doesn't like recording too many windows. So for a big majority, you will only be seeing me coding, and the raw video footage is like 2.5 hours. But yeah, weirdly enough, I actually enjoyed it until I had to fly on my own without the tutorial. It just led to more problems. For example, jumping. Jumping was very weird, like the character would just go up and then immediately down, so it was a bit of a nauseating effect. So I had to find a way to fix that. And by I had to find a way to fix it, I mean ChatGPT. It came in clutch. But yeah, all things considered, there wasn't much that I added. It's just the basic movements, as I said, and nothing else. I dabbled a bit in animations. I tried to get them to work, and they work now, but again, I don't think I showed them. Yeah, I mostly do. I call this a devlog, but I mostly do everything off camera, which is a bit weird. The only thing that I'm really showing is just me suffering and wasting time, because again, what the other guy did in like 30 minutes, I did in 3 hours. I mean, it's just the beginning, so there's certainly that, but still. Also, Visual Studio Code, my love. It's been so long since I had to use it. And yeah, I also had to add, the ability for the player to look around. The way Unity works is that you have to press a button in order to get into like game mode to actually test the things. And the way that looking around currently works in my game is that you have your pointer and then it can move outside of the game window. So that can be a bit confusing and not very enjoyable to the eyes. And I was thinking on fixing that, like making either the pointer disappear or just keeping it in the middle of the screen. But then I would have no way to actually stop to terminate the game process. So yeah, I'll probably have to leave that thing I'll probably have to fix that when the game is fully ready. Or I'll probably have to see if there's a keybind that I can turn on in Unity. Or if there's a keybind so that, I can turn on and off game mode. If it's even called game mode. Who cares, I'll just be calling it game. Ah yes, my second favorite part. taking the model and trying to make it look fat. Not look, well, actually be fat. The way that I go about doing it in the beginning, the rest of the video is very moronic, to say the least. I would take the vertices and like move them forward in order to make him look fatter and all that. But that was just making my life harder, because you could just use sculpt mode and it looks, besides the fact that it looks better, it also saves a lot of time. Granted, in my case it didn't save a lot of time because the model that I've stolen from Blender itself, they have published it. It comes with various modifiers, and whenever you use sculpt mode, if the model has modifiers, then the sculpt mode is applied onto the modifiers. Again, I really don't know under which circumstances you would want the sculpture, I guess, to be applied onto the modifiers. I mean, what's the point? What's the point in that? I genuinely don't know. But yeah, it would apply them to the modifiers, and for like 2 hours or even maybe more, I couldn't figure out the reason. I visited the, not exactly Unity support, but the community, and I checked, nobody had the same problem, if I remember correctly. So then I had to fall back to trusty old ChatGPT to help me, and it said that yeah, maybe it's because you have modifiers on. So I tried turning them off and voila, it actually worked. But then again, something that is not shown on the video is that I had difficulty getting it to work with, how was it called again? Shape keys. Yes, shape keys. In order to not transform, to move from the fit model to the fat model and vice versa, you use shape keys, or at least I use shape keys. And I had the difficulty getting that to work, but at the end I managed it, and I was, and still am, very happy with the outcome. Although again, it took way more time than it should have taken. This is just humbling me to the next level. Like, trying to make a game by yourself with no prior experience is just so humbling. And it's enjoyable, yes, but it's also very humbling, and I guess the only saving grace is that it's enjoyable. But yeah, again, not much I can add. I'm just trying to make the model fat by just trying to make it fat with a very poor choice of actually doing it.